Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here, and another educational special video. This is a follow-up to one of my last videos here, the secret of my success trading only one pattern and trading it like a business. That had a great response to it, and so I want to continue on that kind of a series of things. How important that one pattern that we trade consistently and trading it as a business. Remember, we're in this game to make money. Just like anything else, it's a job. So we have to define our business plan, basically, how to make money at our job. It's simple as that. And that's going to give you the discipline, the patience, everything that you need to execute these trades and take profits and move on. So in that last video, we talked about the divergence setup, and it is what I talk about every single day that I'm on the radio. We talk about the divergence setup. It's one of the best. It is the best. It is the #1 setup out there to trade in the markets. I teach I teach this as much as I can, and there's little things that you could learn over time. The basic examples, of course, is the lower low and the higher low, the stochastic oscillator. Again, I'm not going to go into the whole ins and outs of everything on this video, but there's many videos out there. And just happened last week, so this is another example of that divergence being that opportunity, that trading opportunity, that business area where you're going to go to work. And we had this divergence, and in this case we had this falling wedge pattern. And this is what I want to talk about today, is the combination of a divergence and a falling wedge pattern. The divergence in itself is the best. When it's inside of a falling wedge pattern, it gives it a great sense of timing. You know exactly where, why this is going to work out, and it usually happens in that 65 to 75% area of a wedge pattern, a downward wedge pattern, and the same thing for an upward wedge pattern or a rising wedge pattern. So add that to the criteria. If you happen to see a wedge pattern, which you see now, and there's other things that are happening here, and I always talk about the price leaving tracks in the sand. This is what we call the chart. So we saw the chart, the price went up here and then it dropped off hard here, and it stutter stepped here before it broke down, and then we kind of slid down here, and then we popped back up, and then we pulled back and continued to move higher. So this was a trail left by the price, and we could actually, from trading for over 20 years, notice that certain things, certain situations in the market tend to repeat themselves. But how do you know if that's the right thing? So there's a set of indicators that I use. I specialize in the stochastic oscillator, and to the point where now I've identified other setups, not just the regular straight up divergence inside of the wedge pattern. That's easy enough to identify. One of the techniques, other than the divergence technique, is what I coined the triple stochastic setup, and it's a setup where I use 3 stochastic oscillators at different time frames, and we measure the reaction of the price with those 3 stochastics. And that's probably my #2 go-to trade on my business plan, is this setup. When it comes, when you actually start to look back and see these things play out, you'll learn more about them. But I am not going to focus on this setup right now. Explain to you that we're really talking about the wedge pattern, but this was a nice move down and a nice consolidation, which gave us a setup here, the triple stochastic setup, and then we had the breakdown. And the important thing about this, if you know from my videos, is that the price is holding that 20-period moving average, and we have a rotation back up to 80 very quickly. Now that we identified that wedge pattern, and we had that divergence, and this yellow circle, really this yellow circle representing a Rambot, and the Rambot is our divergence indicator on Day Trading Radio's dashboard. So you automatically get an indicator when a divergence is setting up, so you don't even miss them, and you actually get those sent to you on your cell phone or on your email if you need to. So you had a divergence set up, you had a wedge pattern, and then you had a very good visual divergence confirmation here. And from that point on, it was the breakout. Now, the good thing about falling wedges is that lower trend line is really the key to determining what your first target is. And you're going to take a clone, right? I just take a copy of that lower trend line and put it right up against the top of the channel here. And that's usually our first area of, that's our first target, because that really represents a channel. And if that channel is going to be a sticking point. We want to know where that is, and in this case, you can actually see we pushed right through it. It doesn't mean that's a definite place where you're going to pull back. That is our target. When we talk about our entries, we have a criteria for an entry and a criteria for an exit, or multiple criteria for exit, depending on what your underlying time frame is. Remember, every trade that we take on that 1 minute time frame is based off of that, that setup on the 1 minute. So it's a faster time frame, and it's going to complete itself much faster. The underlying next level would be the 5 minute time frame. And you always want to scale out or zoom out and take a look at that 5 minute time frame. In this case, I will do it on this screen right now. This was 11 o'clock. We're oversold. We have a divergence. Now, I always see it better on my other chart, but because this is from last week, I'm going to bring it up here. Now, we want to see that stochastic on that 14.3, which is down here, and the 9.3. We want to see those start to move up after divergence. And as you can see, you have a nice upward ramp here on that 9.3 and a slow grinding move up here on the 14.3. That's very good, and that is one of the main reasons you would continue to hold on to this trade past the first target objective, because that bigger time frame is not oversold yet, or in this case overbought. We'll go back and I'll show you what I mean by that. Sorry. We have this 5 minute. Once we get up back, it's about 11:40 back over here is where we finally get overbought on that 5 minute time frame, and we also had a signal over here also. So that time frame, the 5 minute time frame, gives us some bigger objective on this. I'm going to go back now to that 1 minute time frame, and then we could just kind of see the snap in, and right at that point, we also see that we have a 1 minute time frame. We also have at that point there was a tradeometer set up there, and I think there was also a little reversal candle with the 200 period moving average and the VWAP. So there was tremendous level here that gave us a little pullback. So that would be actually a 1 minute time frame with a 5 minute kicker or 5 minutes on your side. You could actually take this trade right back up to here where you got that other signal, and from that point on, even if it went higher or lower, you're out of that trade and you're waiting for the next divergence setup. In this case, you could actually see a nice pullback there. And what do you see here? You have a nice little double bottom divergence right here. So another great example of just happening right after we came back. We kind of pointed this one out on the radio, and from that point on, it was a nice move up, and you can see a nice follow through there. So that's the wedge pattern. There's some other little tidbits of information on there. The other thing I want to kind of announce with you, don't forget, you also have that on the dashboard on Day Trading Radio, you have a bot. It's called a RAM bot, which identifies 5 minute divergences. And it'll send you the alert via your text or your email. You could set up any way you want. I'll actually show it to you for a second fast. All right, here's the website. So I log in. If you're a member, you log in there, and what you're going to see here is the dashboard you got. And I just want to give you a fast example. There's your dashboard. I'll pause it right now, and right on the bottom here. Now I pause this so you're not going to see everything, so it doesn't confuse me or confuse you. But on the bottom is your Rambot signals throughout the day. Actually, I had them just set for 5 minute buys, but you could mix them, match them. We have buys and sells all the way from 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute. But I recommend the 5 minute. That's the really go-to. Then I have the trade alerts. But up here is the one where you want to open up your alert manager right here. And then you could apply what you want your alerts to be. You want your HPS alerts, your Rambot alerts, and that's it right there. You click on yes, and you could also click on your phone number, put your phone number in there, and you're all good to go. And the last thing, of course, if you're watching this video and you love the techniques and the logical approach to the markets and making money, but you don't have that time to make the money, you don't have the time to day trade. I know we talk about being on the radio every day, but that's just not viable for everyone. So I have a special site. It's called the HPS High Probability Setups. It's kind of an a la carte site to Day Trading Radio. Day Trading Radio, automatically you get the site, but you also have an opportunity to get a hold of all the research, and also on the HPS site. It's called highprobabilitysetups.com. And for an a la carte segment, you don't get what's on Day Trading Radio. You don't get the RAM byte. You don't get anything, but you get all the research. And the whole thing about HPS is I identified, because it's usually one setup and one technique we're trading. I usually put, these are all gathered and they're alerted to you. When we see a setup, I actually post that setup on the HPS. You get an email, an alert saying that the setup is 7, and you have a video of it also that kind of identifies what we're looking at and in the video. And then from that point on, everything is actually programmed into the back end of Day Trading Radio and HPS. Actually, HPS is its own separate entity. And if these things hit our targets and hit our triggers, you get alerts, instantaneous alerts. And all these that end up on this list are usually Divergence setups. So as you can see, I'll just click that one. That was our latest one in Capital One Finance, and you can see where our buy signal was, where our profit zone was, and where it is now. Again, the concept between behind the HPS is the original 10 for 1,000 watch list, where we watch 10 stocks and we look for a point in each of those stocks in a 7-day period. More now towards what I'd like to look for now is we put these setups on these Divergence setups. We track them, and I expect them to move within 3 to 5 days. But some of them, as you can see, most of these great setups are really great setups. Like Schlumberger was a recent Divergence, and I don't like trading Schlumberger, but because it falls into that criteria and that perfect setup, it tells us when to get in and when to get out. So I'll mark it off here as a Divergence setup. Click on that. And again, you can see we move right up into our profit. You'll get a mail, and I got out of it. And then even if it does come back, we're not worried about it. So it's not something you have to be in front of every day. Sometimes it'll take a while for it to set up. Sometimes here's where we hit our target in 3 days. It continued to move up a little bit higher and then pulled back a little. But that is the basis behind all the setups in the HPS. So when you get an HPS setup, you can pretty much guarantee that it is a nice Divergence and a quality name. A quality name is important for me. Here we had a nice Divergence in Pfizer, and just took 2 days to get up to our target. Look at that explosive move. So I average 3 to 5 days on the move. I'd love to get that, and if not, it's usually due because of the quality of name of the stock. We like good stocks here. I don't trade pennies. I don't trade stocks usually under $20, $30, $10. You don't see that often. But, again, regular stocks, all good. And the HPS setups also can be used by trading options on these. So if you're a big options trader, these are excellent for options. So that's the HPS, highprobabilitysetups.com. If you want to get these setups sent directly to you and you don't have time to do the research you're on your own. One last thing here, I mentioned before. Also, I have a course on divergences. The Divergence course. I've been writing it for about 3 years. It's my life. I enjoy teaching it, but for the first time ever, I have all that information down in one place. That is at the schoolofstock.com. That's theschoolofstock.com, not daytradingradio.com. And again, we have a lot of different educational products on there. One of them is the Divergence course. The other one is the Foundation, HPS High Probability Foundation course. Takes you through, your foundation, learn how to trade, the more advanced traders, and then you could learn the Divergence setups. And then that's basically it. Let me give you a run through of that. Here it is. Again, this is School of Stocks. I think it's a very reasonable price considering it's all the information you need for trading divergences. A lot of stuff that's always added to it. $349.95. Foundation rules, divergence trade rules. Each one of these segments is broken down into videos and talking about how to set up your charts. I break them down into individual videos. As you can see there, how to start the 3-minute divergence, a sweet spot, how to spot lane divergences. I just updated this chart just yesterday. This is an excellent updated video, 8.3. And there's many lessons. Position sizing for advanced. This is how to do position size and use position, percentage of your account. And I take questions on this, so if you have any questions, it's an interactive thing. So if you, when you sign up for the chart, the course, and you have questions on possible, question, or you want more information on it, I'll walk you through it. I'll answer your information. We talk about hammers. Everything is very comprehensive and a lot of information there. So check that out. That's at theschoolofstock.com, the Divergence course and the other courses. And that's in case you don't have time to learn how to trade on your own. You just want to learn how to and don't have time for the radio or even having alerts being sent to you. All right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to see you trade in the markets every day. And we'll talk to you in the markets.